Well, this is going to be a pretty big start, isn't it? We've taken a realistic move and jumped to Bournemouth for Premier League football. Don't worry, you'll see plenty from Willem 2 on Twitch soon. But for now, we start with a triple header at the Cherries, away to a title contender in Chelsea, before a big home game against Leeds, and an even bigger South Coast derby at Southampton. This is going to be a real test of whether or not we can succeed. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 48 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today to make our Premier League debut as AFC Bournemouth manager. We've got a big triple header with a tough away game to start before two big games in the battle at the bottom. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can stay away from that relegation zone and out of trouble, then please do put a thumbs up on it. We're not going to focus much off the pitch because we did that in the last episode. So if you missed all the introductions and a look around at the players, that is up in the eye above. But for now, we're going straight to the football because we come to a Bournemouth side that under interim management has actually picked up a bit, albeit against Crystal Palace and Wolves. When they've played the top sides this year, bar nicking a draw against City, it's been a struggle both for points and for goals. So let's go and get straight through to the fixtures because as well as showing these three games, I've got to show you the tactics as well. I've set up three of them to start with because I'm trying to make it as versatile as possible and I'm trying to be adaptable as a football team. So the first tactic that we've got here is a three at the back. Now, while we've got three different formations, note that the tactical style is very similar. In all of them, we've got four wide players, fullbacks or wingbacks, and then wingers or wide midfielders. And that will allow us to get width, get crosses into the box, to hopefully an advance forward, a box-to-box, and another winger as well. We want to play quick, we want to play high tempo, and we want to play on the counter-attack because we've got the team to do it. We've got great energy in midfield, we've got quality out wide, and while we've not got the best defence in the world that we do need to protect a bit, we have got quality going forward, which I believe in, and a very good shot stopper if he can find some form. So we've got this tactic, which is the 3-4-3, I guess. The old Conte system, I think you'd call it, with two players in midfield, one of them sitting a bit, and the extra cover in defence with a third defender. The other two that we're training are the classic 4-3-3. That one gives us a bit more defensive rigidity and probably goes for the away games if we get battered today in this formation. But it gives us a little bit more going forward, a lot more support duties rather than people outright defending or outright attacking. So a bit more of a balanced approach across the pitch, but a slightly more cautious style overall, which I don't really want to adopt. And then the third one is what I call emergency attack. 4-4-2. We mentioned we've got Solanke at 31 with Leonardo as well. I don't want to go to this tactic first because Solanke is being heavily linked with a move to Saudi. And if he goes, we're left with one great striker. So I don't want to go too aggressive and force this on the team. As it stands, if we need to, if we're behind in a game, particularly at home if we're chasing something, it's definitely a go-to and we've got the players to suit it. All we need to do then is drop Senesi out for Solanke, which I think is fine. So let's go back to today, see if they go back in correctly. They do indeed. This is the 11 I've gone for to start off. Off the bench, we have got a few missing out. And there's a few little bits of housekeeping since you were last here as well. It's only been 3 days, but there's still problems. Areola has decided to retire at the end of the year, so Steele in the under-21s will jump up. We've also got Sonko who requested a transfer. He was unhappy when we joined. We tried to talk to him, said it's a fresh start for everyone, and he basically told me to do one, so he's probably going to go. We had our backroom advice meeting on the Monday, from which both Ollie Byrne, Martinez, and a couple of the under-21s are now on a loan list. And then finally, Kondogbia's asking price got reduced, which was another recommendation. But otherwise, everything's in the hands of the technical director. The chairperson may or may not choose to recruit a director of football. But for now, we've got a side we can work with, and it's a very balanced squad. So this is what we're going to go for. It's Karnazeski in goal, who has been poor this season, but we know is a good keeper. Senesi, one booking from a suspension, with Mepham and Zabani the back three. Aarons and Doig the wing-backs with Damsgaard and Siganov ahead of them. But then Tyler Adams and Alex Scott the midfield two. And Marcus Leonardo up front. All about getting wide, getting balls in the box and overloading those wing-back areas. So let's see if we can create something against Chelsea or if we're going to get pegged back. If we get embarrassed today, it might be the last time you see this tactic. We're going quite aggressive. I wanted to have an attacking threat, but Chelsea have become a good side in this game. Graham Potter is back. Yes, you heard that right. He's in for his second spell as Graham Potter, and it seems to be going well this time around. Not sure we'd ever see that in real life, to be honest, but we've got the original fullbacks who remarkably have stayed fit in this game. Caicedo and Fernandes now the midfield too, and Kunku's in there as well. And on the bench, the likes of Fofana, Lavia, Lukaku's even still there. There's plenty of familiar names about. So let's get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads there's nothing to lose. They are missing Mykhailo Mudryk, who has been one of their star players in this season. So let's see in the first half, after one defeat for Chelsea, whether they drop off and allow us an opportunity. No idea how this tactic's going to work. The 4-3-3 that we looked at in the middle, it might end up being the away tactic for the reasons I mentioned earlier, but also the fact it was what they were largely playing before. So it might just be the safety net if they can't adapt to this change. We've done a lot of tactical work in 2 days of training, and so far the stats look all right. There's not been any highlights after 25, and if we could bore our way to a 0-0, I would be beyond thrilled in this game. These first 2 tactics are set up to be a bit more cautious and a bit more steady, and at the moment we're restricting chances, which is great. We are having our shots from too far out because we're not able to get up the pitch, but at half time, I know it's not the greatest thing to watch, but it's good news for a triple header to shorten the video. And it's also fabulous news from a defensive point of view for Bournemouth, because if you look at this season so far, and we get to the Premier League table, Bournemouth have not been the most solid defensively. If I give you the full view, Bournemouth have conceded 27 in 16. Goals have been a problem, we know that, but conceding has also. And at the moment, we're doing a lot better, though Enzo Fernandez will look to change that from a set piece. Zabani up as far as Beraldo, and Alex Scott wins it back. Can we counter? Do not do anything silly there. Find Zabani. No. Back to the goalkeeper. Big punt downfield. That's what we wanted. And Damsgaard will try and get there. Enzo flicks it on. Gula in the middle. And this is the first time we're seeing Chelsea flowing. Look how high they've got the wing backs here. The wingers supporting as well. They're trying to get us out wide too. Maybe that's why we've cancelled each other out. Caicedo gets it back to Chilwell though. This is the chance. And pace is in. It's straight at the keeper. We've got very fortunate there. The first time we've really been carved open, but at the moment, with an hour gone, this has been a thrilling display. We've got a couple of tired legs, which I'm wary of, because we have only got 3 days until our next game, and that one is more winnable on paper. So I think we will have to make some changes here. We've got Clivert returning from injury. He'll come on for Damsgaard. I'm going to bring on Lewis Cook. No, I'm not. There's no one tired there. Left wing back is the problem. But neither Maffeo or Aarons are particularly confident there. Aarons might have to go across soon. I've got to be honest, I wasn't really planning on being within a chance of a point, so I'm going to put Leonardo off for Solanke. You know what I'll do? I'll bring Cook on for Siganov and I'll put Scott right wing. Maybe not the most conventional option, but I think he'll do a job for us, and again, just gives us a bit more defensive solidity. With a quarter of the game to go, I do still expect to lose this, and if we go behind, Doig will come off. But for now, it's been a better defensive effort than I expected, and the shape looks really good. As Pace gets the ball down the left, he has been a star man. Great ball in, which Senesi deals with, and Aarons flicks away. Adams flicks on, and now it's Scott, breaking away down the right. Back to Aarons, sensible in possession. I think you can see in this tactic, we've not got a huge attacking threat. It's all about shape, it's all about containing. But Aarons gets away on the right here. Oh, this would be a smash and grab. Alex Scott in, one in the middle. Scott cuts inside, he goes alone. It deflects in. It's an own goal for Fofana. But Alex Scott, we moved him to the right wing a few minutes ago, purely to go a bit more cautious and a bit more sturdy in the middle. And Alex Scott has nicked one. What a run from him. Now can we hold on to it? We've got a very good habit in FM24 of conceding just after we score. I thought that was a penalty. We get away with it. Sugawara, though, down the right-hand side. Lavia's in. Might shoot. Senesi does well. It's a cross, but that's offside. Gotta be offside, referee. Please let us get away with this. It looks so tight. But my initial instinct was offside. The goal's disallowed. Oh, we're getting close to a result now. And now I don't want to make any changes. It might cost us against Leeds because there's nothing at left wing back, but this is an opportunity we did not expect to have. The new manager bounces flowing. And what do we do now? Fresh legs on the right, I think. Veron can do both of them naturally. He is right-footed. So we'll get him on there. Which way round are they better? I think we're going to stick with that way, to be honest. So Veron is on the right-hand side. We've got one sub remaining. I wanted to give Doig a rest, but ultimately I've got no one to bring on that strengthens us there. And we are 5 minutes away from a result. We're getting to the 90th minute. There's 3 added on. And I'm pretty sure you won't blame me for this. We're going defensive duties at wing back. We're going support duties on the wing. I think we're going to go to a 5-4-1 traditionally as well. Tyler Adams will switch to a centre midfielder on defend. And we are going to time waste our backsides off. So Veron and Cliver will drop in. They will go to the opposite sides. Then Aarons and Doig will go to full back. And actually, that means then we can rest Doig if we want and bring on the big centre half. I think we're going to do that. Brassy up will go left wing back then. And then going forward, we're going to go time waste all the time. Not as much tempo. No overlapping at all. I was going to say play for set pieces because we can time waste from them. But I don't want to deviate too much. We're going to slow the pace down. We'll still counter when we get it. But I don't want to do too much. And at the moment, we're about to complete a dream that I didn't think we would. If we're out of possession, we'll definitely drop off more. I think that's enough. I don't know what else to do, but it's an opportunity. We're going to drop to cautious as well, by the way. Let's just hope we can time waste our way. This would be a dream start. It would vindicate the decision. What a win. What a start. Nearly celebrated too soon again. How about that? One shot on target, which was not the goal. But what a win at Stamford Bridge. 3rd v 16th, and we win it 1-0. And that has taken a huge amount of pressure off the game in 3 days' time. We're going to have to rest people to get them fit for it. But that is a dream start. We'll be back in a moment to face Leeds. And I'm suddenly feeling a lot more confident. Well, a few bits of big news as we return for the Leeds game. And the first of them is the addition of a director of football. And a bit of a surprise name, actually. Because big old Mike Phelan has joined, a 66-year-old from QPR, 350 grand paid. And he is pretty good attribute-wise. The negotiation is a bit of a worry, but the personality, the judgment, and all of the mental attributes are brilliant. So I'm hoping that he's going to be working effectively in the window. Albeit, he's got to deal with this mess first. What we've got to watch out for, though, is the other side of this, which is basically every day we're having players think we're Saudi, and they're all first 11 players too. So the goalkeeper, Sabani, we've looked at Solanke as well. There's a fair few important players that could be moving on. And I'm looking at the money Saudi clubs are offering, and I'm looking at the financial situation we're in. I'm thinking, yeah, I could kind of see that happening, to be honest. So we'll wait and see what happens for the rest of this month first. But for now, let's go and get ahead to the second game today, where I'm going to break some news and maybe look a little bit silly. Eddie Nketiah scores for United against Arsenal. How about that for a start? But I'm going to do something surprising here, or maybe not. I don't know how you feel about it. I'm going to change shape because we didn't carry an attacking threat in that game. We contained. They also play a lot more centrally. You can see they've got inverted players. They've also got Cole Palmer as a 10. So I'm wondering whether for this one we go 4-3-3 because we're not going to need 3 at the back for this one, I don't think. If it goes wrong, we can obviously change back. But for the team selection, we've got to look at fitness too because Doig is struggling, and going 4 at the back would allow us to bring in a proper left back in Brassier who can cover that role if needed. So I think we're going to go for that, and we are going to go to 4-3-3 for this one. The instructions, the style is the same, but we've got a chance to push on a little bit here. So changes to the team today, it will be Senesi who drops out. That will keep him fit for the Southampton game and hopefully away from a suspension, and that means he can come in there. So he is going to be replaced by Lewis Cook as the holding midfielder. Doig is going to be replaced by Brassier, I think purely due to necessity. Although it says his injury risk is low, so I might just start Doig and then bring him off after an hour or so. And then going forward, Damsgaard played okay, but he is transfer listed. He is wanted out. So maybe we'll bring Kluivert back in for this one. Bit more attacking threat out wide, and he can do 45 to 60 minutes. Looking at the bench then, do we need Ollie Byrne on there, or would it be better having an extra attacker or midfielder? The only centre mid on the bench really is the youngster Martinez or Damsgaard. So I'm going to bring on Gus Till for Ollie Byrne on the bench here. And I'm hoping that that will be the right decision. This is the 11 then. It is Kluivert in on the left-hand side. He replaces Damsgaard after injury. We've taken out the centre-half Senesi to bring in Cook for our change of shape. The rest of it is the same. We're going to head straight into this one at home to Leeds and just hope we can find the answer again. Well, here are the teams as it's 4 changes for our visitors, who of course bring back in the likes of Fabio Silva, Cole Palmer. In goal, they've got Petrovic, the Chelsea one in real life, with Verba still there, and Padu back at centre-half as well. They've got Stephen Naismith in charge, which is perhaps the biggest surprise. And as you saw from the tactical screen, we're starting with a lot of support duties, and then as the game goes on, we'll adjust and amend as needed. So let's get through the dressing room. We picked up a surprise 3 points at Chelsea, but can we maintain the unbeaten start? And against sides in and around us, this becomes all the more important. Well, 25 gone, and it's been another very quiet game. No side creating much, albeit we've had the only chances. So I've adjusted a little bit and put a couple of more attacking duties in there. So the likes of Scott and Kluivert now pushing on. But at half time, it looks like it's going to be 0-0 again. And it's another game that's not great, but it's also a game where I feel like if we stay unbeaten, we've done our job. We're going to say we've not been good enough. We're going to get the 2 nervous boys and encourage them. You've got the ability to make a difference, and they both look happy. But Leeds have come here to do what we did to Chelsea and not concede. And at the moment, it's working for them. We've also got tired legs at the end of a 3-game week. And I think that is catching up with us a little. So with an hour gone, I think we're going to go for a couple of changes. We're going to bring on Doig replaced by Brassier, and he'll stay back there. Tyler Adams is now going to be suspended next week, so he can play the 90. Leonardo's picked up a knock, so Solanke on up front. We'll see what he can still do at 31. And Alex Scott is struggling in the middle. But this might be the game for Gus Till as an advanced playmaker. I feel like getting forward, having the finishing instinct, it might be his game. Damsgaard could also be a good player doing it. So I wonder if he's someone who will get in behind. Doesn't look quite as good physically. So I'm going to gamble on Gus Till here and hope that it works out. Not the player I expected to get football. And to be fair, he's not got much fitness under his belt. But with 3 changes made, with 20 minutes to go, I'm a bit worried that we haven't had a shot on target. We're going to encourage. We're going to have to take Kluivert off now as well. Damsgaard will come on for him. And then the final change, we'll do the same on the other side with Veron replacing Siganov. So that gives us the chance to go attacking with the wingers. We're not then going to look for the overlap because we can get the ball in quickly. And hopefully with a box-to-box and an advanced on attack, we can get 3 in there for the crosses. That's the only thing I can hope. We have got the option here. Don't forget to go 4-4-2 late on because we have got Till who can play up front. And I might well do it if we still haven't had a shot on target. Because again, with 5 to go, I think it's time we do it. We've not had the opportunities in this game. So this is where we go aggressive and hope. We put Till up front. We put Cook and Adams in midfield. 2 supporting wingers. 2 supporting wing backs. Get the crosses in. Hit the 2 up front. Solanke is going to be the target forward at 6'2". And then Till is going to be the advanced forward at 6 foot himself. So we've got the 2 in there who can make a difference. Let's get them through the middle. Let's go 4-4-2. And let's try and win it late on and be aggressive. That's the way we're going to work with this side. We're going to keep encouraging them. We've definitely got a solid team. And we've got a late set piece with Damsgaard into Zabani. Oh, that would have been something special. We're still on the attack though with Veron. Option down the line, but he goes himself. Veron delivers. Solanke's there. Till's up. It's headed away. And now Leeds are on the counter. We said we were going to go for it, but it might yet cost us. Don't forget, it gives a threat at the other end. Tyler Adams does really well. Veron loses it, but Adams there again. Finds Max Aarons. The yellow cards are flowing, and Max Aarons has just given the ball back to them. Not like this. Into Bacola. Ah, it wasn't worth the risk. It's cost us the point. And you know what? I'd probably do it again. We've gone aggressive. We've tried to get a win. And the Chelsea games afforded us that luxury. but it has cost us the 3 points, or at least 1 point. Leeds United nick a 1-0 at the end. I'm disappointed with the chances we wasted. I think you could see at the end, we were definitely running out of steam. But the good news is we've got a week off now. The bad news is the South Coast Derby, and we've just ended our unbeaten run. Well, after that mixed start and a disappointing end to the Leeds game, we've got more staff coming in. We've got more problems with players who had been unhappy from their time before we joined. But now we've got fitness test time ahead of another big weekend. Kluivert's just about fit again. Maffeo has decided to have food poisoning. He really don't want to play. And Leonardo is just about back after his knock last weekend. We go away to Southampton in a South Coast derby though, and due to a Wolves victory last week, we could be in big trouble if we don't get a result here. So let's try and get on the front foot against a similarly poor Southampton side. They've got Che Adams still, the likes of Bella Kotchap, the likes of Bednarek. They've got Daniel Everson in goal, Lloyd Kelly, Shea Charles, Ryan Sessegnon out wide. It's an interesting team. And I'm not sure what tactic we're going to be able to play here, because part of me wants to go to the back three, but then do we lose too much of our attacking threat? And equally, if we played a back four like we did last week, which was okay as well, who on earth do we put in midfield? Because we don't have an awful lot fit and Tyler Adams is suspended. So for this game, I'm going to go back to the tactic we played against Chelsea and just try and hang in there to start with. And that means that Adams will drop out for Lewis Cook, who should be on the bench somewhere or in the team. There he is. He's going to go into midfield and Scott will go over to the box-to-box. And that means that for this game, Senesi will come back in. Then he'll probably be banned for the next game when we go away to bottom of the table Sunderland. So this becomes a very important week for the football club. We've not got much we can put on the bench. Ollie Byrne will probably be the man. Or could I chuck another striker on in case we need to chase it? We really are out of options. Kondogmiuk might have even got a game the way we were going. But for this one, we're going with this team. Leonardo will start. Kluivert will start. It's worth the risk in a game like this. Most of the others are fit enough. And Lewis Cook is playing in midfield because of the suspension to Adams. Senesi back in defence. And into the South Coast Derby we go. Well, what a game to finish on. And despite the brilliant start at Chelsea, if we lose this one, there will be question marks. Will Still is the manager. They've got Moussa Dembele, Koulimana on the bench. Ro Waters, we know from our switch save as well. But this is about staying in the game. At the moment, being pretty is not something we can do. I'm petrified of January because there are so many players being linked with moves away. And of course the club is in a lot of debt, so replacing them is tricky. But can we get into it with a good run of form? Because this side at the moment is good enough. And it's got to prove it, as we've got a corner with Siganov into the front post. Headed away as far as him again. Siganov back to Cook. Oh, what are you doing, dallying on the ball? Too many individual errors at the moment is a big problem. Adams goes back to Marcel, and if you remember the end of the Leeds game, this is how we conceded. We gave the ball away in the middle, not long after our own set piece. Sessegnon down the left, Aarons misses the challenge. It's a great block from the Adams shot. Chris Mepham doing the job to save his teammate. But Cook in today because of a suspension, and he's not started well. 20 minutes gone, Southampton on top. And again, it's about staying in the game at the moment. We're going to give some encouragement, because this team is still a little flat on confidence despite only losing 1 in 4. And again in this game, a bit like the Chelsea one, it's a very solid tactic this, but it does not offer us an attacking threat. And in this game that won't be acceptable, as Karneski goes long downfield, straight at Bednarek. No one even challenged him. Sessegnon loses out to Aarons though, and Zabani goes wide to him again. Can we get one on the breakaway? Aarons down the right, he's surging past 2, but Sessegnon's forced him back to Zabani. He goes inside to Mepham. Southampton pressing that 3 up high against our defensive 3. Can we break through them with Siganov? Finds Leonardo. Gets into Bednarek. You could tell he wasn't quite fit there, couldn't you? Easy for the defender. Long ball dealt with by Senesi. It's a long old highlight and I'm worried about it. We've gone all the way back to the keeper. Ganeski plays out to Zabani. Into midfield for Siganov. Can he find the pass? Forced backwards. Zabani wide to Max Aarons, chips over towards Leonardo, beats the defender Bednarek, goes from distance. Not the best shot in the world, to be honest, and not trusting his fitness to get him behind. The suggestion that he might not have the pace he normally does. But at half time, we've been the second best in this game, let's be honest. We need a response in this second half. We've got most of the boys fired up. We've got quality on the pitch, but I'm petrified of going 4-4-2 after the last game because you saw how much we got overrun. And we just don't have the midfield options. So I'm going to go for fitness over quality now. We're going to bring Dom Solanke on for Leonardo. Clivert will come off for... Might go Veron this game. I think I'm going to. We're going to give it the last half an hour. A bit more aggressive. Hopefully we can nick one as Doig goes to Cook. They won't care about how we play if we win this 1-0. Why did no one go and challenge that? Everson making a right meal of it at the back. Siganov struggling as well. He might have to come off soon. But the big kick downfield needs to be dealt with, which Zabani does. Finds Max Aarons, who gives it to Cook. Now we start again with Mepham, but you can see not many options in midfield, though Cook finds a good one in Solanke. Massive goal drought, which ends in the biggest game of the season. Dom Solanke scores his third of the year. We had a big question mark about not scoring for God knows how many games after the last one. But we trusted him. We gave him the chance, and he has scored a very big goal. Southampton 0, Bournemouth 1 with our first shot on target. And at the moment, we're FMing our rivals in the derby, which will never be complained about, as Josh Doig finds Alex Scott. Back to Mepham, then into Alex Scott again. Now it's about being professional, keeping the ball, finding the right opportunity. Siganov on the right does that with Max Aarons. Will they open up now and give us opportunities? Aaron surging through. Solanke again. Oh my word, from the kickoff. Dominic Solanke. You've still got a big role to play in this team, my son. Don't you go off to Saudi in January, because I'm going to need you. Max Aarons makes amends for his mistake against Leeds. What a performance this is turning into. Josh Doig on the left with a throw. We'll make subs in a minute. But Veron's in again. It's a chance for 3. Veron shoots. Oh, good save, Everson. It's a very good away performance, this. And now we're in the perfect tactic to be 2-0 up because it doesn't offer too much up normally. And we're 10 to go. I'm going to make a couple more changes. I don't want to go too early here. Damsgaard will come on the right. He will replace Siganov and we'll switch those two round. Do we even need to? I'm not sure. I think we will, just for security here. And we'll go support duty for both. We're also going to take off Alex Scott, who's really struggling. Although, no, I haven't got anyone who can replace him. So, no, we're going to leave it like that for now. 3 changes made. And if we need to, we'll make a time-wasting one late on. But with 5 to go, it's been a great second half. And we're back on the ball again with Alex Scott, who finds Veron. Out wide, chance to take his man on. Goes inside. Scott didn't make the run. But Solanke's won it back. What a game he's having. How about a hat-trick off the bench in the derby? He's in from Veron's pass. It's in, but the flag's up. It did look it, I've got to be honest. Got to say, Veron's looked a real threat off the bench. So if Damsgaard does force his way out, I'll be happy with that. Goal disallowed. The dream hat-trick is gone. But what a performance, Dom Solanke. 90 minutes played. We're into 6 added on. We're not even having a time waste, but with 2 to go, I will make a couple more subs. We'll bring off. Doig can have a rest for Maffeo. We'll just get him on for a chance to play. And then also, the youngster Martinez can come on for Alex Scott, just for the last minute or so. A brilliant performance away at Southampton. We stayed in the game first half. We got the threat on the counter in the second. And despite the disappointment at home to Leeds, which now I do kind of wish we just sat and taken a draw, we've managed to get 6 points from our first 3. We've won away at Stamford Bridge. And crucially, we've won away at Southampton in the derby. What a result for this football club. And I'm sure the fans will be on board with us now. It's definitely vindicated our decision to come. We are now on to 22 points, 6 clear of the relegation zone and in 13th place. And do I whisper it quietly? If the coefficient adds an extra European spot, we're only 4 points away. However, we've got 5 clear on Southampton. We're definitely comfortably safe for the relegation zone. And Dominic Solanke, you will start at Sunderland because that was incredibly impressive. What a player, what a performer. And what a first episode. We've got to be thrilled with that. Yes, a slight disappointment at home to Leeds, losing by 1-0. But 2 big wins, 2 big clean sheets on the road. And that back 3 is definitely the way forward this season to get us out of danger. For now, though, we are going to get through the January transfer window. We've got an uninspiring cup tie, so nothing too worth showing. And then we're going to come back for what now will probably be a very worrying episode because despite our positive start, there's a lot of interest in our stars. There's a lot of debt at the club, and Saudi Arabia is going to be calling for a few of them. Can we hold on to the younger ones at least? I don't mind Senesi going. I can accept it if Damsgaard moves on. Kondogbia hopefully will. A few of those older boys, but the likes of Doig and Scott, who I want to build this team around, let's just hope they stay for the next month. We're going to come back for either the Leicester or Brighton game. Both of them big. We'll see whereabouts we are in the table before deciding. And that will be accompanied by Mike Phelan's first deadline day as our new director of football gets to work at Bournemouth. But what a start. If you enjoyed it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know if I should go for the back three at home as well, because that was gritty, defensively solid, and we really looked pretty good. If you want to stay up to date and see how the rest of the season goes, then subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back tomorrow with Southend United. You can find yesterday's deadline day there up in the eye above, before we return here on Monday after another little special on Sunday afternoon for a very big transfer deadline day with Bournemouth. In the meantime, you can find some of our guides up in the eye above. There will be another one later this weekend, as well as links to the Twitch channel and the football podcast, which have both had an incredibly busy week. But for now, thank you for watching and your support as always. It really is greatly appreciated. What a start with AFC Bournemouth. I think we've made the right decision. We'll be back next time to see how much of this squad is ripped away from us.